being kicked out. But believe me, they had the drive and the will to go back.
Can you remember the day on 11 June 1999?
Yeah.
Explain to us.
Berisha, we got the whole brigade out in Munich. We actually moved down to Munich by then.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole brigade, and he said, the war's over. We've won. That was it. Simple words like that. The relief on every single man, you could literally see it drain off everybody.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we had to stay together for another 8 days, 9 days before we were released to go and see the families and everything. But you could feel the relief, the anticipation of going home, you know, but also what was waiting for them when they got there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you could feel that little bit of tension still in the air.
What was the picture of Kosovo in that time?
Driving from Munich through to Prishtina, it was empty. It's the only way I can explain it. It was empty. Yes, you could see signs of battle. You could see where the Albanian houses had been destroyed, but the Serbian houses were quite happily stood there, untouched. You could see where shops had been blown out. And it was very, very eerie, very desolate.
Mm-hmm.
But within 48 hours, so many people flooded back and it became alive again.
Mm-hmm. How was Pristina in that time?
On edge.
What do you mean?
It felt tension in the air because all the NATO troops were pouring in, setting up their bases. There was still possibly some Serb units withdrawing. We didn't know. Mm-hmm. We weren't allowed to carry weapons, which, okay, that's fine. But it still left us a little bit on edge in case there were Serb units hiding in blocks of flats, snipers, whatever. Mm-hmm. We did not know at that time. So there was a little bit of tension in the air. But again, you could see a smile on people's faces.
Mm-hmm. What was the communication of KLA soldiers, I mean, speaking of your point of view, with KFOR forces, since the British forces were the first to enter?
Yeah.
I mean, speaking about the NATO, and of course, that was another situation that the Russian troops from Bosnia came,
yes,
you know, before NATO, and that was a kind of strange positioning regarding NATO and Russia also.
The funny thing is, the British unit who were being ordered by Wesley Clark to go and retake the airfield was actually my old unit from the Royal Air Force Regiment. They were sitting on Chinook helicopters ready to go. I think NATO were very worried about KLA coming in armed, looking for revenge, but it never happened. We obeyed the orders, put down your weapons. You know, there was good communication between what I saw between NATO and our units. Even during the bombing campaign, we had regular visits from NATO unit coming up. What do we need? Where do we need bombing? What area? So all in all, I think the communication between the two was very, very good.
So the war ended in that time. What were your feelings about the country, the people here, and the future of the place that a war took place?
Rustem Berisha said to me, now the war is over, we're going to drink champagne in Pristina. I said, no, we'll go and drink a coffee now. I said, when you're a free republic, then we'll drink champagne. And 2 days after the independence was signed in 2008, I bought a bottle of champagne to Rustem Berisha and I kept my promise.
Yeah?
The feeling that I saw afterwards, I stayed with Sammy. We went to Sammy's house in Prishtină. And I had to fulfill one promise to Baram Getsay, which was to put an Albanian flag over his house.
Mm-hmm.
And that promise was fulfilled. We did that. I think the nationalistic pride came out in those days. Mm-hmm. Yes, they saw NATO as the victor, but they saw KLA, the people took KLA to their hearts then.
Mm-hmm. You think that freedom for Kosovo people would have come without NATO?
That's difficult to say. Without the export, no.
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 Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah. So 24, 25 years later, when you are seeing that the ex-KLA commanders are dealing with the specialist court in Hague and
yeah.